Bitcoin peaked over the $1,200 mark in a series of daily gains, taking it to new heights. Much of this rise has been attributed to the speculation an ETF will be granted approval, which would be a first for Bitcoin. Investors are highly anxious to be involved in cryptocurrencies as the potential is clearly exponentially higher than where it is. Although it's in its infancy, Bitcoin has gained attention in the global markets, particularly for those who want to quietly move their money out of restrictive countries. You came here for the truth. Let's look today at the price of Bitcoin. I want to show you a few charts that will show it in relation to others. Let's look at this first, the price. After reaching that 1,200 mark, there has been some decline there, but that's very natural, of course. After several days of gains, pulling back a little bit, it still hit that record high and it looks to be very strong. It's all in anticipation of an ETF, which if things go sour, ultimately it's going to occur at some point down the road. Look at this, gold and Bitcoin. The prices are converging, and that is very, very important. I believe it's very significant. You could see this steady hand of gold going across, whereas Bitcoin over the last several days had been climbing. I'm going to show you another very similar chart here. Look at this. On a longer term scale, going back from 2013, you'll see right here as they're circling, the price gets basically to be about the same, and again in that point of convergence right around now. Then looking at it on a different measurement of gold in Bitcoin. We measure gold in US dollars all the time, but look at it when measured gold in Bitcoin. I like to see all these different charts. Mike Maloney does this quite often in his book, as well as I believe Richard Duncan's book also that I read a few years back. Look at this and you'll see a very similar mention here of approximately 1-to-1. It's very interesting to see. This was particularly in sync 2013 and again today around that number. Moving on quickly to this, just a similar chart showing you again 2013. There was that rise in 2013, which as far as I'm concerned was too fast, too soon. It came down after, but a slow and steady rise had developed over these past couple years now. So it is definitely a lot stronger than it was in that peak that it received back in 2013. Bitcoin's volatility greatly exceeds that of gold and currency. And I do believe that because the market is so small, you see volatility that is encountered. Similar with, if you look at silver, for example, versus gold, the market for silver is, although I believe extremely important because of the industrial side, it is very, very tiny, which means more of a plus side, but also could mean a vast drop in a very small amount of time. Look at this. It's probably difficult for you to read on your screens there, but you're looking at gold and the euro and the Japanese currency. And while there are some, modulations here compared to Bitcoin, it is absolutely nothing, which just moves up and down, up and down. Now, does that mean you shouldn't invest in it? That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that there are big, big swings. Downside potential and upside as well. And that goes with a lot of different commodities and anything else that's trading on the big markets. Look at oil, for example. It can come down from over 100 down to 30, and it's a huge commodity. So there's something to look at there. China's central bank is going digital. After assembling a research team in 2014, the People's Bank of China has done trial runs on its prototype cryptocurrency. This is similar to what the Bank of Canada has done. Well, they're looking into blockchain anyway, and you can see that they've taken an interest. It's not just, kids in their basement or something, right? This is now expanding on a global scale. A lot of people use it, particularly in China. They want to pull their money out. You know, when you place restrictions on, there is always going to be loopholes. Look at what's happening in a country like Venezuela, where you have a black market which has far exceeded what's happening inside of the normal everyday markets, where you have different items available to you, but the price is extremely high. Of course, that's destroying people's lives at this time. Anyway, I'm trying to say that there's always going to be a loophole around. People will always find a way, and it seems like Bitcoin is being used in this way quite often now. So this is what's happening with China right now. I think it's still, of course, something that will be rolled out over the years, and I do believe that a lot of other countries will adopt this, or at least look into it for some means. Maybe they're not going to necessarily replace their current currencies with a cryptocurrency, but I do see it being used as a method of payment. I do see it being a very legitimate thing moving onwards, not necessarily what it is today. I think it's going to expand greatly, is particularly for those who want to move money around. That's what I think it's best. I think it's best as being a medium of transaction, personally. Barclays has apologized. This is switching gears here. Barclays has apologized after customers reported problems using cash machines, debit cards, and phone banking. You will one day be locked out of your money. Wait a second, it's my money. I want it. No, you can't do that. Some customers say they were unable to withdraw money from cash machines or use cards in shops. Online and telephone banking and in-branch payments were affected. Oops. This has happened before, and whether or not it was intentional doesn't matter. All that matters is that individuals have money, or so they think. They've been working their 9-to-5 jobs. They've been saving their money. They put it in the bank because they want to be able to have it, keep it safe. Obviously, they don't want to keep it under their mattress. They don't want to keep it in their pocket all the time. So they put it in the bank. And then they want to go to the store and buy some groceries. So they take out their debit card, or they take out their, whatever, and they try to utilize their cash that's sitting in the bank. But they can't. They're locked out because of an error, because of a problem that's running in their systems. What would happen then if you literally didn't have any food to eat? What would you do? You don't have any cash on hand. You don't have ability to then, get what you need. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to starve. And what if this happened for a week? Well, then you'd have a very, very big problem. This is why we cannot just wholeheartedly put our trust into the banking system. We can't do that. I understand people need a bank account. Most people out there, they're going to have a bank account. They're going to be able to put their money in there. They want to have a way for their 9-to-5 job, and they put it in the bank. That's fine. I get it. That's fine. But to trust that banking system is a very, very foolish move. Whether it's something like this, or whether it's the threat of bail-ins, whether it is a devaluation of our currencies, bank runs, the bank holidays. There are many reasons to be concerned for what we will definitely experience at some point. Claiming people are being paid to riot. Republican state senators voted Wednesday to give police a new power to arrest anyone who is involved in a peaceful, remember I said peaceful, demonstration that that's, looking into the future, you're trying to predict crime, may turn bad even before anything actually happened. Wow. Now that's powerful. Now there's a reason why I can understand from the government standpoint why you would want this. You can see that There's maybe talk on social media that they're going to go and they're going to riot and everything else. And maybe something has happened, you know, in the next town over, and they're fearing it's going to spread over here. And, you know, I get it, but you can't do that. If something didn't happen, you can't try and prevent it from happening. That is very, very dangerous behavior. You're never going to be able to anticipate where it's coming from. You know, when I use this example all the time, G20 in Toronto, where you have police that were clearly standing down for the longest period of time, letting police cars be torched, and doing so purposely to have a reason to go in. The media would capture that. The media would see all the black bloc and all the rest pounding in those cars, lighting it on fire, and then you would have an excuse to crush everyone's skull. This is the type of thing that happens too often. And then we have this, a US Air Force plane, which is helped in the aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster, has been called in to find the source of a mysterious radioactive cloud heading towards the UK. Everyone in the UK right now, I would keep very, very close attention on what's going on with this. There has been, I brought it up already on the channel, but they've detected radioactive substances right now that have been not just in the UK, but it has been throughout Europe. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but obviously there is a big problem. So many of these nuclear reactors are leaking. They're leaking into the groundwater. They're leaking into the atmosphere, and it's very dangerous. You have at the same time where they're testing all these devices, exploding them, whether it's in the Nevada desert, whether it's in different parts of the world. They're happening right now before our very eyes. And you can't do this and not have consequences. You cannot do it without consequences. That's just the way it works. And they think that they're going to get away with it, but ultimately it will come back around. You cannot pollute the environment in any way without it coming back. Look, if the wind brings it in one direction, eventually something's going to happen. It's going to come back. If you found this video informative, then please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, it pushes these videos higher up in the YouTube search rankings. Last but not least, if you found the video informative, then I know you'll find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. So look through the book. Actually, if you can do this at Amazon, they have a look inside feature that's going to allow you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. One other note, I just wanted to mention that the Kindle book, I've decided to bring the prices down on the Kindle version. I put it at $9.99, but technically Amazon chooses whatever price it wants, and actually they decided on $7.62. So the prices come down considerably. I definitely recommend the paperback version. To be quite frank, to be quite open and honest, I make more money on the Kindle version. There's an extra $1. I make $4, okay? You know, I want transparency. I make $4 on the paperback, and I think I make whatever, $5 or something like that on the Kindle. So, but I suggest the paperback. I know it is more expensive, but just being able to flip through that is much nicer. But if you like the Kindle, that's why I have it available. It cost me like $160 for this. They wanted $160 to be able to format it for me. I paid that money because people said, I want the Kindle version. So I'm very open to that. On a side note, I haven't officially launched it yet, but already a bunch of people have gone in and bought it. That's my new book, The Global Economic Collapse. So if you look for The Money GPS Global Economic Collapse, that's my new book, which has been a soft launch at this time. If you're interested in that, it's available in Kindle format as well. Look for a promotional video to come out soon related to that. Take care.